Well, the numbers are in for 2023. But before I dive into that, I want you to bear in mind that I'm coming to you as a former deputy sheriff that was almost one of these numbers back in 2015, just months after receiving Officer of the Year. I'd also like to add a disclaimer that this is a very tough topic, but a very, very important one. Currently, First Help is showing that 162 first responders died by suicide last year. The overwhelming majority, 118, were law enforcement. Now, these numbers will continue to rise as more cases get reported and more data is collected. For example, this time last year, First Help was reporting 179 first responder deaths by suicide for 2022, and it's now showing 217, an increase of 38 responders. Now, whether you're a first responder or not, this is a problem that affects everyone. We need our first responders, we need our law enforcement, and we need them healthy. We've been talking about awareness for a long time, but awareness needs to shift to action. It's an uncomfortable topic, and it is so much easier to bury our heads in the sand and avoid the problem. But the brave thing to do is to face this head on. And we never think that it's going to happen in our department until it does. But none of us can afford to let one more life slip through the cracks. We all have the ability to make an impact, and in the coming weeks, I'll be expanding on how you can do that for yourself and for those around you. I'll also be sharing with you some of my methods for burnout prevention and post-traumatic growth, and simply mitigating the byproducts of working in a first responder world, how to manage this at home and on the job. And I promise to make it much more lighthearted, but this topic warrants a certain level of seriousness. Now, you don't have to become a specialist or go on tour telling your story to have an impact. You don't even need to have a story. If you're someone who's never even experienced this type of struggle, maybe share with others what keeps you from getting to that place. Use your capacity to support and lift others up out of the depths, because isn't that what we would do on duty? Isn't that what we're called to do? And if you're someone who's in need of that support, I want to assure you that there are droves of people and organizations and resources available, ready and waiting for you to be ready to speak up. The fact is that these jobs are either a gut-busting comedy full of camaraderie and a job well done, or they're a tear-jerking drama with very little middle ground. Suicide is preventable, period. And we are our first line of defense here. But this starts long before somebody's considering leaving this world on purpose. This starts on day one when they walk through that door, fresh-faced and squared away, ready to take on the world. Because it's not always the critical incident or an injury that pushes someone to that point. More often than not, it is death by 1,000 cuts and feeling like those that are holding the Band-Aids are pretending to be blind. This has got to be more than just checking a box of annual resilience training. This is an everyday decision to show up differently. Be bold enough to ask someone how they're really doing. Be brave enough to sit with them, put your feelings aside, even if the conversation is uncomfortable. Be caring enough to offer whatever help you can, of course, without sacrificing your own well-being in the process. Because when you make the decision to show up differently, it will have an impact. Are people going to be skeptical at first? Sure. Is it going to be a cakewalk? Probably not. But is it going to be worth it if even just one life is saved? Abso-freaking-lutely. Administrators, invest in your people. Make this a priority. Supervisors, connect with your people. Take the time to really talk with them. Get to know them. Frontline guys and gals, check in with your people. I know you may be struggling too, but be kind to one another. Friends and family, love on your people. They may not say it, but they need you to. And if you still think this isn't important, all I ask is that you please just don't minimize the voices of those who are struggling, because if you care at all about your colleagues, your friends, your fellow man or woman, or the safety of your community, you won't be part of the problem. I implore you all to speak up for yourself, step up for others, so that we can level up together. Be well and stay safe.